Press the button.
He's got his finger on the button. Oh, we're on the way. We're going. Here we are on Wednesday, the 24th of September, 2025. A Podful of Saints, number 10 for the season. We must have David Tavener, Lee Wood, who's hiding something strong in a coffee mug there.
Isn't this what Wednesday afternoons are supposed to be about? Men chewing the fat about their team's inadequacies. Beautiful time to be alive. Afternoon, boys. How are you all doing?
And Jake Ellacott is the other boy.
Well, City are back. That's the podcast. They're done. See you all next week.
Are we back?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
That's what somebody else said. They sent me a text this morning. City are back, question mark. Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? Right, we're starting down on the South Coast last Saturday, whatever date that was, 20th of September, away to Whitehawk. Lovely ground. Everybody loves it there, don't they, Lee? It's changed a little bit since we were last there. Now we've got a car park up on the...
It's got worse.
It's that way looking at it. It's only getting worse. Our first half performance wasn't great. Wasn't great at all, as the manager alluded to as well in his post-match speech. But afterwards, the second half, when we got a bit more attack-minded and deservedly rescued the game. All right, we had to wait until the 4th minute of injury time before Jasper Mather, whatever his name is, scored. But it was deserved, wasn't it, by then?
Yes. It was deserved. I think for a lot of that second half, sort of Whitehawk just sat in, didn't they, and just let us go at them. And the chances, they weren't clear cut at times, but there was definitely chances, and there was a lot of possession. I think the first half was a struggle, and also we were probably denied a couple of penalties that maybe should have been given. So probably was deserved in the end, but we certainly made hard work of it, didn't we? And again, Ian Culverhouse was pretty open about that in his post-match interview.
Yeah, he took the blame for getting the formation wrong or whatever in the first half. You'd hope by now he sorted out what he actually needs, but we're still juggling around with it. 1-0 down at half time. Alfie Rogers got ahead of Michael Bostwick and flicked the ball in quite well, actually. And Magnus Norman was flat-footed, didn't go for it at all. And it could have been worse, but Magnus made a good save and he scooped the ball off the line. Were you concerned at half-time, Lee? Because it wasn't going our way.
I was exceptionally concerned, Dave. I think I've been a really vocally staunch supporter of Culverhouse, Bastock. But Saturday was the first time I actually thought to myself, we've learnt nothing. We've learnt absolutely nothing. We've seen this movie before. Okay, the cast is different, but ultimately we know how this pans out. You know, it was bad under Nobby. It was bad. But Saturday was just a whole new level. And whilst it's refreshing that Ian Culverhouse came out and said that he got it wrong, he got the shape of formation wrong, it's almost quite embarrassing as well, the fact that, you know, they've not done the research to know how Whitehawk are going to set up. Or look at the best bits of how we've done so far this season, 2 up front. But look, I guess it's difficult, isn't it, when you haven't quite got the personnel? Because we've got attacking players, we've got forwards, but we haven't got strikers. And I think you do need someone like that. I think that's where they really want Alex Wall or Harrison Smith to flourish. Neither of them are doing that. So they're having to sort of resort to a little bit of a plan B. I was really concerned, Dave. And yes, okay, deserved equaliser in the injury time. But I tell you what, mate, it papers over a whole world of cracks.
Yeah, I think it does, although it was deserved. A couple of names you picked up on there. Alex Wall turned 35 on Monday, a 4th player, 35 and above. He's not been at his best lately. No two ways about that at all. I'll come on to his booking in a minute, which is a ridiculous decision. But him and Harrison Smith, I said at the start of the season, he's going to get goals at this level. He doesn't look to have a goal in him at the moment. We saw it again last night when good chances came his way and didn't take them. Maybe he needs one to get him going. He got one in the FA Cup, but it's just nothing happening from him in front of goal at the moment at all. And between the two of them, no goal threat. And that is a big worry for Culverhouse and the rest of the team. Leo Seri might not get many goals, but at least he has an attempt. And when he strikes a ball from outside the box, he generally gets it on target. So full marks in for that. Eventually, a keeper was going to score one, it'll go in. But beyond that, all right, Zane Banton's chipped in with a few, but we'll come on to him in a little while, I expect. But that was it, just in front of goal. We didn't look to have that cutting edge. What did you make of it, Jake?
No, I think that's fair. And as the game dragged on, I think there was that concern of, well, this isn't going our way and there's no one that can actually put it in the back of the net. So this is a bit of an issue. When we're going behind in games, of course we've scored late goals and we've gotten points, but it's still been a real struggle. And it was hard going at times on Saturday for fans. I think the second half we started reasonably well. And then Harrison Smith had to come off, obviously probably through fitness on the hour mark. And I think a lot of fans were then frustrated that just seemed to take a little bit of impetus out of the attack because Harrison might not look like scoring goal, but he'd at least started to have a little bit of build-up play with Leo, etc., etc. So I think that change didn't really work for fans. But then Jasper Mather, the man who maybe can find the back of the net in the City squad, came along and thankfully did the business.
Yeah, he did. When did he come on? He come on 68, so midway through the second half. Well, we mentioned before he scored, was it 30 or 31 league goals over the previous 2 seasons for Bognor Regis Town at this level. And you think we scored again last night. Is he now? He's still quite young. Is he now coming into his peak or whatever? And it's either one we've got to look to get the goals because we're not getting them from elsewhere. Mind you, all of his goals, 5 this season, I shouldn't think it's taken him much outside the 6-yard box. You put them all together. But that's it, just somebody in there, getting the rebounds. It's what you need. Gary Lineker didn't exactly score many from the halfway line. But beyond that, it is a struggle. But the funny thing is, that game, 5th away game in a row, undefeated in all 5. And yet you didn't feel on that big a high at the end of the game.
No, and I think the thing with Jasper is that he's been scoring goals, which is what you've been saying. Wall hasn't been doing that the last few seasons. Harrison hasn't been doing that the last few seasons. So I think it's good to see Jasper continue that form in a City shirt. I think we spoke about this last sort of week, is that he's almost an unsung hero. He just goes about his business, under the, and he's just quite deceptive because he's really fast. He's quite strong. He's almost the perfect striker, but he just doesn't seem to be played in up front. Culverhouse prefers Harrison and or Wall. Obviously last night he got another sort of goal. So his form is getting there. The fans are really starting to warm to him now. He's sort of like a new sort of cult hero. And we just need something like that, Dave, because ultimately, as you say, we've got all these forwards. They don't really pose anything in terms of threat at the minute. And the only one sort of doing the business is Jasper. And long may they continue.
George Sippets, he's just a bit part player coming off the bench. Yeah. Chances of him getting a goal, well, if he gets one, it's a bonus when he comes on each game. And you really, at the moment, despite forwards themselves not scoring individually regularly, you can't see him getting a starting place, even as it is. So how long is he going to put up with that? Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, can you see him getting a start at all?
No, I don't see so anytime soon. I mean, at least he's got an Isthmian League goal this season. George away at Aveley, so that is a contribution, but I think he's only ever going to be an impact player or a substitution, isn't he? I don't think he's really going to be lined up to start at the minute unless we pick up a few knocks, and that's unfortunate, but I think that's the way it is. There looks like to be players that maybe aren't scoring a lot of goals, but at least maybe look a little bit better in terms of preparation for the Isthmian League, maybe. But then I think, after that goal at Aveley, a lot of Saints fans wanted Sippets starting the next couple of games afterwards. So who knows?
You mentioned a couple of penalties early on there, Jake. The club on the video or the highlights made a thing about the handball at the end of the game, which was high in the sky, if you ask me. One that was earlier in the game, but we were still 1-0 down, was just so blatant when, what's his name? I'm not going to get this right. Hugo Odowogu Atkinson, I shouldn't think any of that's close. Just chopped down Leo Surrey. It was just so blatant. The linesman in front of us didn't give it. Video which we recorded on that side of the pitch, I'll put it on the end of this video so all supporters could see it, because it doesn't really show up on the highlights package. It was just so blatant, wasn't it? And the linesman, how he could not give it.
It was assault. That's what it was. It wasn't. Not only was it not just. It was a penalty. It was also assault. I think there was a suggestion that he hung his leg out and was looking for the contact. He got absolutely chopped down. We were right at the front, Jake, and it was just as blatant as you get. I don't know what the referee saw to suggest it wasn't a penalty. It wasn't a dive. It's just the way he just, tumbled off. I thought, look, we can go on about refs every single game, Dave, but that was a stonewall penalty. The handball for me wasn't, I didn't think it was personally. But the Seri one, when he got absolutely scythed down by the absolute cart horse, it's just ridiculous.
That linesman, what was his name? Mark Spence. He also responsible for the Alex Wall booking I mentioned earlier. One of our players went down in the box. I think it was Stephen Wright off the top of my head. And nobody saw what happened, if anything happened at all. Suddenly their players, after he's been lying down there getting a bit of a tan, their players said, go and have a word with linesman. Linesman hadn't flagged for anything at all. He hadn't seen anything. But then on the word of a linesman, Alex Wall gets booked. And what's he booked for? Because if they're saying an elbow, well, it's a straight red.
You should be sent off, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what has he booked in for? It's just utterly ridiculous. For the linesman then to give that decision and then not give a penalty, you just wonder, what the hell was he on?
Yeah, and there was actually another penalty shout up opposite side of the pitch to you, Dave, after it, at a corner, where Michael Bostwick was, he's not the easiest lad to drag down, was absolutely yanked to the floor by a defender, both arms wrapped around Bostwick. And that was after the referee had stopped the taking of the set piece to have a go, the usual display about, don't pull, don't push, etc. And then Bostwick just get absolutely dragged down right in front of the referee, and it's just waved on. So for me, that was another one potentially that could have been given. So it wasn't the greatest afternoon for the officials.
On Saturday, I think it was at Whitehawk, when Nathan Cooper, their number 5, got his arms around Alex Wall and lifted him off the ground. So Alex lifted him legs up. And so a couple of seconds he's standing there like that. He did get a free kick for it eventually, but it's just bizarre. Anyway, shame that didn't make the highlights. Would have been quite entertaining. Right. Overall, good day for you two. You went down on the train, down the beach and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame Whitehawk's not actually in Brighton. But yeah, it's always a fun trip down there, isn't it? And it was helped by those quite a lot of Saints fans that made the trip, didn't they, Lee? Which is always good to see.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't raining, which often helps. One thing I would like to say, I bumped into a really nice fella at half time. He approached me, Sam. Never seen him before, never met him before, but really nice fella. Likes to listen to the pod at work. Sends his best to you fellas. And I think he was just trying to decipher what he'd just witnessed for that first half as well. So thankfully, he, along with the other dozens or so City fans, got something to celebrate after the game.
Yeah, talking of celebrating after the game, we had that stupid pitch invasion by youngsters after Jasper scored. I mean, which one of them was in charge of a brain cell that day? Because that should never have happened. It was ridiculous. Don't point at Jake, he ain't got one. It's just madness. They could get the club a fine and whatnot, so they can perhaps share the fine amongst themselves. It was a shame.
There wasn't anyone here, was it? So let's move on.
Right, that's it then. That's Whitehawk done and dusted, is it? 5 away games, undefeated. Brilliant. Right, now we're going to Tuesday night. Back down to Clarence Park. First time since, must have been the August Bank Holiday Monday, I guess. A defeat to Cheshunt. As the team sheet said, match 8. Well, it was match 9, so it was near enough. Who's going to complain? James Sweet down as one of the subs. I don't think he was even at the ground, but, we don't worry about these things. Lewes were above us in the table. I thought they brought about their own downfall in many ways. A 3-0 win for the Saints. The goal kicks, they were trying to take the sting out of the game early on. 2 defenders hanging back, play it short, just keep the game low key. But they looked awful. They were putting themselves under pressure, and we were on the front foot. There's no doubt we were on top from the start. They had a good spell in the second half. When they went 1 down, they realised they got to do something about it, and they stepped it up. And they looked such a better side for it when they played with tempo and went forward. But we caught them again later on with 2 good finishes. 3-0. I don't think anybody can argue against it, can they?
I'm sure you'll give it a damn good go, mate. I mean, let's talk about the prediction first and foremost. I think another one in the. Yes, that's right, my friend. That's right. I decided to make a conscious effort to only attend the second half because everyone knows we're a second half team now, right? So I can only really comment on what I saw. But I mean, I think it's generally appreciated that it's the best performance of the season so far, the all-round complete performance. I wasn't impressed with Lewes at all. One thing I would say is that looking at the team lineup, that's probably as close to the best team that he can put out if he wants to go attacking wise. Yes, you can have your Harrison Smiths and your Walls, and stuff, but in terms of goals and creating opportunities and getting the ball out wide and fast tempo and all of that sort of stuff, that was probably near as damn it. So I was excited by that. I think it took a while for us to really penetrate. They had quite a lot of sort of chances. But all in all, Jake, I think we looked at each other and thought this was good. We've had so many patchy performances of late where we've just been in and out of games far too often. But the consistency was there, and we continued to turn the screw and really pile on that pressure, mate, second half in particular.
Before you start, Jake, there was one change from Saturday's lineup with Mather coming in for Troy Perez-Dewar, who can be somewhat erratic. Apart from that, it was a settled side almost from Saturday.
It was, and one supporter messaged me early this morning going, "It's amazing what happens, isn't it, when we put in an almost full 90-minute performance?" And I think that's a reasonable comment. First time this season. Ian Culverhouse alluded to it in his post-match. And what was nice, as you say, Dave, Lewes for a couple of fans last night, Matt, a few others said this division isn't very good, is it? Looking at Lewes, they had 14 odd points before the game, but they were poor, they were defensive. But what was nice is we actually made the most of it. We took the initiative to have that front step and go, sure, then let's take control of this game, let's attack, let's see what happens. And it worked. We got that first goal. I say Lewes had a decent spell afterwards and possibly should have levelled if it wasn't for a Jack James header off the line. But aside from that, we created chances, which was great to see. And also, it's a shame for Riley Scott to get what looked like a really serious injury. But I think the important thing about that is we adjusted well. I think it would be very easy for him to go off so early on and us to lose any sort of impetus we had in that midfield. But Troy Perez came on, I think, for one of his better displays in the City shirt. And the whole team, really, we didn't struggle in midfield. We continued to impose ourselves. And what was actually really noticeable was players like Dyer and even Fifield. They, at times, just marauded up the pitch with the ball. And it's that sort of attacking intent from the back that we haven't really had at all this season. So that was great to see. And it was just nice to see a Saints side at Clarence Park play positively. I think a lot of the fans that there were last night would have really appreciated that.
You're right, Fifield. He was loitering around deep in their half quite a while, wasn't he? The second half. Don't know why, perhaps just couldn't get back. Great shame for Riley Scott. 6 minutes in, getting that injury. I think Ian alluded it might be cartilage or ligament, whatever. So he's out of Saturday's game, which would have been a poignant one for him for various reasons. I think it's just one of those days. You've got to be happy because we didn't ease up. When we got the second goal, 87 minutes, we went for a third again and got Hansi's cognac. Not been playing for personal reasons, I believe. Is that what Ian alluded to?
Yeah.
So, my God, he was happy when he got that goal, wasn't he?
Yes, it was brilliant.
That's what you want to see, though, isn't it? Generally, that is what you want to sort of see. The thing is, though, Dave, I just don't trust us to hold on to a 1-goal lead, mate. So I think it's always seriously. I just can't. I don't think we've got it in us at the minute. Although defensively we're sound, I just think that there's just that mentality at the minute. We're not quite strong enough to see out games at 1-0. So I think to get the second and then the third, I think we were deserving of that as well, given the amount of territory we had. We moved the ball extremely well. We found those partnerships. We started to get it out wide a little bit more. Still quite wasteful in the key areas, but that will come with time. I think Ian alluded to this as well, the fact that players are still getting to know each other, really. They've only been together for a few months or so. A real consistent football team, it takes, a while to establish. But I think last night, maybe we've seen signs, because although the performances haven't been great, Hitchin and Whitehawk, I think last night was a real eye-opener for the fans, as in, if the team performs on a consistent basis, this is the sort of things that we can produce now.
Yeah.
What was good, because Lewes defended in numbers, and we didn't stop. We got that goal, and we could have just said, all right, you come out and play there. Well, they did, as it turned out, but it wasn't down to us. And we created chances, and the two goals that came wasn't from high balls into a crowded penalty area. The last two goals, lovely through ball. Was it off the top of my head? It's Sarah, I think it was, who put Banton through. Lovely first time strike across the keeper. And then the other one, Sam Smart, who needed a good performance. He only came on late in the game, set up the third goal. And as we said, a good finish, but good football on the ground. And it just cut them open. And it was good to see.
It did. And we exploited the gaps they left by going for it themselves in Lewes. So it would have been so easy, as you say, Dave, for us to sit back and panic about it and bring on someone to hold it up front. But instead, we kept those more mobile players up front on the pitch, and it worked. We took advantage. We got a few more goals, and I think again, there's a couple of players for me that really stood out. I think Jasper Mather. Another goal. It might only be from 1 yard out or whatever it was, but it's another goal, and the fans really like his displays, and you heard that in the way that he was celebrated last night. Leo Seri, I think, again, he's really coming to the fore at the minute. Maybe not in terms of scoring goals, but I think his general all-round performances, his running ability, his attacking intent. Every time he picks up the ball, he's just running forward, isn't he? He's not looking back. He's running forward. He might lose it a little bit, but I think during the first half, I said to someone that might be in the second half, saying, Leo, he looks like he might have that something special, potentially, which is great to see. So just these sort of players that are now maybe starting to find themselves into a bit of form, if we can continue that and we can keep that going on, we are going to start scoring more and more goals, which is brilliant to see. I think Harrison Smith, again, not his best display, was it, unfortunately? But I think what was noticeable last night was, maybe it's not the job he wants to be doing, but he was taking a lot of the attention of defenders, and that was creating the space for Jasper, Leo, etc., for them to run into. So it's a shape that is starting to come alive. And a couple of fans have asked us on the comments, has that result at Whitehawk and Ian Culverhouse's openness about that shape being wrong maybe allowed us to develop what was potentially we saw the start of on Tuesday night?
Harrison had one good chance that first half. He ran through one-on-one with the keeper, Lewis Rogers, and I don't know, from a touchline, it's easy to say, well, should have chipped him, should have gone wide of him. He just shot low. He made it easy for the keeper, you felt. And that was one he should really have stuck away, you feel. And it would have done him a good, done the whole team a world good, but as it was, we didn't need it. It was the biggest home league win since the 6-0 win against Taunton Town on 10th of February last year. A bloke called Jeffers got 3. Was he any good?
I've heard of him.
Don't ask Bedford fans.
And on the and on the Twitter feed, it said Jasper scored 3 successive games now, 3-3, and Johnny's post-match interview on the pitch twice said 3-3. Well, it is, but it's actually 4-4. But it's good enough for the club stats. Well, the attendance, the lowest attendance for a league game at home for 3 years. It's October 2022 against Concord Rangers. Joe Neal scored. There you go. He's just joined Needham Market. He had a spell on loan to them about 6 years ago.
That wasn't David Noble on Nobby's first game, wasn't it, for us that night?
Yeah. It must have been early in the week. We played London Coney, wasn't it? That was his first game.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Oh.
God, you're on the case today, Jay.
Look at you two, eh?
Yeah.
And actually, Mather's scoring 4 in 4, which is quite impressive. And it's got to be good. And the fact that he's sniffing around the 6-yard box, getting them, it's lovely to see. Spectacular goals are great, but if you can get somebody like him, just knocking them in that close, it's brilliant. 4 in 4, it's the best run since the start of last year when Jeffers got scored in 7 games in a row. So keep going, Jasper, you're getting there.
Yeah, but also I think in contrast to Harrison Smith, you can see that when a striker is out of form and low on confidence, just how bad it can get. You know, you would look at Harrison Smith, and he was brought in, wasn't he? He was going to be the big saviour at the back end of last season. It just didn't materialise for him. But I think Jake is right. It's so much that, okay, if you're not contributing goals, you can absolutely sort of use your experience to contribute in the build-up play. I think whilst that is effective to a degree, that's not why he was brought into the club. And I think if Jasper keeps doing the things that he's doing, Leo Seri is really making a name for himself now as well. If he can get a few more goals to his tally, then Culverhouse and Bastock may be looking at our Wall and Harrison the way forward for this club. So we'll have to wait and see. I hope that Harrison gets his confidence back, but more importantly, he's going to want his fitness back first.
They're just plucking something out of the air. You got a player you think has been our best player so far, consistently?
I think Seri's been the most dynamic. I think he's probably going to get quite a lot of the votes if you were putting it out wider, simply because he looks the most impressive guy and he looks the most threat going forward. He's got a bit to him in terms of trickery. Yes, Jake said he loses the ball up the pitch, but I don't mind him losing it there if he's going to try and be brave to take on defenders. I think, but again, he's fleeted in and out of the team in terms of earlier on, isn't he? Because he's been coming on, or he's been sort of taken off on the hour mark. So, to be honest with you, I don't know. No one's really shone, and I think that's probably been reflective in all the performances. I think last night, I think we can all agree it should be a turning point now. I don't think there's any one player there that has consistently where I've thought, you know what, he's really good. He's been outstanding so far in the 8 or 9 games that we've had.
Anybody for you, Jake?
I think Leo, a decent call. I mean, Jasper, he's earned us a couple of points so far, hasn't he? Even though his game time's been limited. And also, I think defensively, maybe Lewes Page. You know, I don't think he's been spectacular, but I think I think a lot of Saints fans have noted him in terms of at least consistency in that full-back position, especially compared to the right-hand side, obviously, where we had Sweet to start the season. Now we've got Jack James there. So maybe one of those 3, but I agree with Lee. Aside from those, no one's really stood out as of yet. But it's still only the 24th of September. Plenty of time for that.
Yeah, Jack James had a couple of dodgy ones, but he's had some good ones as well. He's not doing that badly. Over Dad's Army Brigade, I think Jamal Fifield has been the most consistently good one. I got shot down last night when I suggested that, so he says nobody here to shoot me down today.
I mean, if they're the Dad Army, what are you, Dave? Dare we ask?
Hey!
All
right.
Cool.
He won't get no more lifts for Jake this season.
Is he still your favourite now, Tavs?
Was he ever? Right, okay. That'll do then. We can't go on to the our worst player because we haven't got enough time.
No.
Go on.
Should we say quickly on the sort of defensive side, clean sheet, eh? We haven't had one of those for a little while. It's nice to see. And also, again, some of those defenders stepping up, maybe looking like they could do a job at the back that maybe they haven't done so far this season. Great to see.
Are we just jinxing this now?
I think we absolutely are. That win for Woodford on Saturday is really going to hurt.
That's going to
hurt. Well, one of you made a point earlier about someone said this league isn't very good. And I'm inclined to agree with you. It's actually our 3rd clean sheet so far this season, 3 and 9. I wouldn't have thought that was too bad a record. Providing you're knocking them in at the other end. Maybe we're starting to do it now. I don't know. We see as the season goes on. But the goalkeeper, criticism when he came in. Satisfied with him?
I think it's been good. I don't think the criticism was just about his fitness, right, as opposed to his quality. I mean, to all intents and purposes, Dave, he's a football league keeper. I think he's been very good. I wouldn't say he's outstanding. He's pulled off some amazing stops. I've got to say, I don't think you really appreciate it because we're focusing so much on just our lack of goal threat. You don't really appreciate it. He's actually kept us in a few games as well in the process. So that's excellent. I like him. He's tall. I don't think he dominates his area as much as he should for someone of his size. But apart from that, he's an excellent stopper. And I'm more than pleased with his contribution so far.
Yeah, I've been quite happy with what I've seen of him as well. The doubters who messaged me when we signed him, they're pretty quiet now at the moment. Oh, Tim Ferry, hold on, read that message. That won't be good news. Right. If we finish with that one, we're moving on to the FA Cup on Saturday, away to Woodford Town in the third qualifying round. One more qualifying round to go before we start knocking out league clubs. They are top of the Essex Senior League, played 7, won 6, lost 1, got the best goal difference in the league. But it's going to be a doddle, isn't it?
Oh, no.
I'll tell you what, I've had 2 different reports. Both say they are very fast and they are not going to be a pushover at all, as their record suggests this season. They've beaten 2 clubs from higher divisions. We've lost the last 3 years, as we keep saying, to lower league opposition. The FA keep giving us a chance to do it again. It is going to be remarkably tough, I think. I fancy us to come out on top, but it is going to be tough. Go on then. Who wants to go first?
But you say that, but I spoke to... So my friend owns Bury Town, and I spoke to him after the game. So we were distraught because I thought a nice Saturday away day in the sunshine in Bury St Edmunds, beautiful. But now, if you thought I was uncomplimentary about Whitehawk, then this takes it to a whole new level. So I spoke to him, and he said, basically, the state of the pitch isn't going to help you, but they are terrible. And you'll have absolutely, a quote for quote, you'll have absolutely no problems. But we know from last year, quite spectacularly, that things always don't pan out the way they should do when it comes to the FA Cup and St Albans City. So, yes, whilst I would say, I mean, this is their proverbial cup final, isn't it? Really. But I think I agree with you, Tabs. We're probably going to have a little bit too much for them, mate.
Yeah. I mentioned Riley Scott earlier because his dad is a chairman down there, isn't he? Whose name escapes me at the moment. Is it Tony? Well, it is now, anyway. So that's a shame that he won't be fit for that one. Which brings us on to, does Troy Perez-Dewar return to the starting lineup, or maybe does Sam Smart come in, or does Aziz Coney come in?
I think Perez-Dewar did all right last night. He wasn't great away at Whitehawk personally, but I thought he was reasonable last night. Hit the bar with a speculative effort that was only not far away from going in. And I think you kind of have to stick with that team almost that did well yesterday. I think, and that includes Troy Perez for me. Probably deserves to start. But Aziz Kone probably, you would say, probably not match fit enough yet. But what is great is we've got another option there, potentially midfield, while Riley Scott is out, which is good to see. I think Sam Smart's situation is interesting. And like you say, Dave, I think he just needs some confidence, doesn't he, and some minutes. So, but is that this game? I don't know if it is.
He's been one of the disappointments this season because you can see he's got ability. And there's a couple of games just before he got dropped on last night. He hadn't been at his best at all. Was he dropped on Saturday as well? Yes, he was. He dropped for Saturday's game. So he's got to prove his worth and get back into that side. And the way he set up that third goal last night was a good way to do it. It depends if he wants a bit of whip or not. If he does, then he brings Smart back in. If he doesn't, he goes for Coney. And if he wants somebody to pass to one of us, he go for Perez. That's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I don't know who that's harsh on. Everyone, it feels like.
So he's got choices there. It's not as obvious as one would imagine.
No, it isn't. But it's probably going to be it's going to be a hard game. We've already said that, talk about the pace. The pitch isn't the best by all accounts. It's going to be a really difficult afternoon for Saints. And, so we said they're 2 leagues below, but they certainly look like they could easily actually be in the division above with the quality that they've showed so far this campaign. It's going to be really, really hard. And yeah, I think I'm nervous. I don't know how everyone else is feeling.
You mentioned about the pitch, I think, Lee. It's got an 8-lane running track around it.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it.
It doesn't. I think Galston only had about 6, didn't it? So we were a bit closer to see our demise in the cup last year at Great Yarmouth. It just kills atmosphere, doesn't it? Straight away.
When we're on the sidelines, are we going to be in the same postcode, or will it be somewhere else? Because it looks so far away in the photos I've seen. But it looks like there's some nice hills to stand on and stuff. So I'm sure we'll get a good view.
Magic of the cup, that is, mate. Magic of the cup.
It is. I think they're going to be inundated with Saints fans who will be enjoying their first experience of Woodford away. Dave, have you ever been there, Dave, before?
Well,
in 1872, we played Woodford Reserves.
Woodford Town, we played them in the FA Cup, 1985. It was, I think I mentioned it last week. What was their ground called then? Snakes Lane or something. And I mentioned there John Watt, our captain, one of the best City captains I've ever seen, missed a last-minute penalty because we didn't want the FA Cup getting in the way of our promotion bid. So that's the only time we've played them before. So it's a different club. They folded and come back since then and changed their name, done God knows what else, and got themselves a horrible new ground that nobody seems to like. But they have got themselves a good team this time by the sound of it. So we've got nothing to compare it with from the past, except the last time that I can find that we played an Essex Senior League side was Forge United, which was, 1990? That's the old Dagenham Works side, if I remember rightly, changed the name to Forge United. And we lost 3-1 down there, which is unbelievable. But we're 2-0 down in the first 3 minutes, just to make it interesting. And they were time wasting as the game went on, and their goalkeeper was taking time. Now, Adrian Jolliffe, sadly no longer with us. You'll probably remember this, Graham, his brother. To speed up their time wasting, he did a one-man pitch invasion. He went on, got the ball, plonked it down at the edge of a 6-yard box and told the keeper to get on with it. And it was brilliant. Didn't do us any good. We lost 3-1.
Obviously, we do not encourage pitch invasions of any kind, whatever decade they occur in. So, yeah.
No.
Yes. You got to be pretty fit to want to do that Saturday, aren't you? Across 8 days. Pass with discus, throwing thing. And you've got to be pretty determined. Anyway, there we go. Prediction, rain, I think, isn't it? A bit of rain around the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, go on then. Oh, I've got to better write it down, I suppose.
So how did the last ones go, Dave?
Yeah, remind us, David.
Well, on Saturday, we don't usually include goals and count after the 90th minute.
Oh, do we not?
Funny how
that happens.
No doubt Jake's going to want to claim his 1-1 draw at Whitehawk, and we'll have to give you yours last night, Lee, for your 3-0. So you two on a bit of a roll at the moment.
There you go.
But FA Cup banana skin. This is where it all falls apart, isn't it?
Not for me, mate. I'm going to go for a mighty 4-2 for the mighty Saints.
Jake?
3-1 Saints.
See, goals flying in. There's no stopping us now, is it? We've got, as we've been saying for the last 3 quarters now, we've got a team that can't score, and here we are, 7 goals between the two of you.
But that's what happens, mate. We've got 9 games of absolute desolation, 1 game absolutely banging. Look at us now. Confidence galore.
We're so fickle.
We are. That's the City way.
First bit of that word was right, Jake. I'll go for a 2-1. There you go. To us.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Nothing can go wrong. Clean sweep of the board in terms of victories.
Yeah.
Magic of the cup.
They'll be hanging this podcast up in the changing room at Woodford.
They will.
Saturday morning.
The team talk. They're just going to play us mugs on the big screen. Yeah.
Earlier this season, I think for the replay with Bury Town, they had a former Saints in their squad. What was it? Roman Michael Purcell. Purcell played 3 games for us 7 or 8 years ago. But I don't think he's figured again since. So there you go. Right, one other bit of news as well. The Burgess Hill Town game, which should have been this Saturday. Of course, it's not mentioned on the website yet, but on the Isthmian League fixtures site, you will find it's been rearranged for Tuesday, the 28th of October. And on Monday, the 3rd of November, we've got AFC Welling away in the Hearts Senior Cup.
Oh, look at this.
And our level.
Yeah.
Well, we've also had the draw for the FA Trophy since we last waffled on here.
No. I think we're all pretending that didn't happen.
Away to Averley. Unreal, isn't it? So we're going there twice in the league because #play there as well. And now the trophy just leaves the League Cup to go, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let us know, Saints fans, about what your thoughts about the trophy draw and obviously our FA Cup exploits. Jacob's going to give you all the information you need right now.
Yeah. Podful of Saints on Twitter. Please don't mention Averley to us. We don't want to hear about that. And the email in the description below. Dave, anything else you want to mention?
Yeah, one final thing.
Oh, no.
Tomorrow, Thursday, 25th of September, at Coney Heath Football Club at midday for 2 hours. There is a Wakehall Memorial, or whatever you want to call it, for John Lister. There's going to be loads of local football. Yeah, celebration of his life. There's going to be a load of local football people there, and it'd be a good do. If he was there, John would have enjoyed it.
He would indeed. Lee, anything else?
No, mate, that's it for me. Looking forward to Saturday, and I shall see you boys down there.
Brilliant. Thank you all very much for watching, listening. We really appreciate it, and we'll speak to you again very soon. Come on, you Saints. Bye-bye.